Hey, deconstruction or dismantling. I want to encourage you to think about this. Deconstruction or dismantling. People say, Nancy, it doesn't sound like there's very much difference. I say, well, there is. But this is how the enemy works. Now, I don't like to bring a lot of attention to him. I don't like to give him a lot of airtime. But when there is great deception at work, when people are being outwitted, then you got to pull back the curtain and you have to expose the dog that he is. You have to do it. So this is how it is with the enemy. See, he has no creative ability. Only God is creator. So if this is your first time with me on Alive, I'm so glad to have you. I'm Nancy McCready. So thanks for jumping on with me here. So this is the thing with the enemy. He has no creative ability, okay? He can only take what God has created, and he loves, with our full cooperation, to twist it, to pervert it, to make it crooked. And he loves to have it be so paralleled to what God is doing, in the exact seasons of what God is doing. He loves to get it. It's so close, this angel of light, that you can hardly tell the difference. But my friends, there is a huge difference. Deconstruction is something that's actually gaining a lot of attention. And unfortunately, it's picking up a lot of Christians along its way, where what God is wanting to do is to dismantle what I call an implosion, a controlled collapse of all of the things within our lives personally and within organized religion that were not of him. They've never been of him. He does not hold any affinity for it, doesn't consider it to be a virtue, any of that. So while God is bringing an implosion, a controlled collapse, not a reckless explosion, a controlled collapse to the scaffolding of what man has built, to the synthetic things of man, God is allowing it to come down, whether that's happening inside of you personally, whether that's happening within his church, whom he loves, all right? That is happening. Guess what the enemy's doing? He's coming right alongside that and wanting to deconstruct the whole thing. Deconstruction brings people to a place of two things. Either they come to the end and there is no God, and literally Christians become atheist overnight, whether they're a Christian artist, a singer, whether it's a preacher, suddenly they just go corkscrewed off. Okay? That in and of itself ought to be an indicator. It's twisted, crooked. Okay? All right? And the other is that then they have a God of their own making. And they decide that their God would never send anyone to hell and all of these kind of things. So this is a part of where the enemy is paralleling so closely, okay, it appears, so closely that it can be confusing for people. So I want to help you with that, okay, is that the dismantling that God is doing is bringing down everything that's not of him. And let me tell you what the result of that will be. The flaming, abiding oneness that you'll have with him, because you will see his goodness. He will reveal himself to you, and your allegiance and your undivided heart will be his. You will embrace the cross of Jesus Christ as the only remedy, the only hope of anything is Christ in you. And the only way to that is by the cross of Jesus Christ. You see, this is where it begins to tell the difference, is in the fruit that it begins to bear. Everything seems to be the same until, boom, you get to the fruit of it. And the fruit of what God is doing isn't going to leave you confused about who God is. Not going to leave you confused about the depth of his so magnificent goodness. All right? So we've got to be careful, and we've got to be aware at this time of the Grand Canyon difference, all right, between deconstruction and the dismantling implosion of God. Because let me tell you, it may seem like it's the same, but it is not. And the fruit is what is going to tell. So when people are beginning to allow a deconstruct of their faith, which begins with legitimate questions. It is a good thing to be able to look deep into your faith and say, why am I doing what I'm doing? Who am I doing it for? What is motivating me? What is going on? Is all of this necessary? You know, those are excellent questions to be asking. Now, the important thing is who are you going to get that answer? And oftentimes when God begins to work within a person, if they don't have someone to disciple them, to truly walk alongside them as God is taking them somewhere, which is to himself, then this is where we get off the path. And we are just left to our own devices, and we're left to our own self, and we begin to come up with our own thinking, and we begin to ascribe all of these things. And let me tell you where that always ends up is man is his own God, always. So I just wanted to hop on today and bring this distinction to you. Beware. Do not get caught in this unbelievable, deceiving trap of deconstruction. But oh, my friends, do break towards the dismantling process that Holy Spirit is bringing right now to the sons of God and to the church. Because we are going to be organic, God-made, derived from living matter. And it costs more, and it can't be mass-produced, right? It can be supernaturally accomplished, all right? So this is where it's so important. The synthetic, man-made things are going down. The organic, only God could do that. The undeniably God move is what's happening. We need to be able to distinguish that. So do not go down the path of deconstruction. Shift, my friends, right now. Shift into that very powerful dismantling work that God and God alone can do. God knows how to dismantle. He did it for Peter and he did it for Paul. He will do it for us. We need it for the very same reasons that they did. So this is a part of where God begins to dismantle. He brings a very powerful implosion to all of the man-made things that we've put together. And then he walks us into what he and he alone can do. What is it that he has always meant for it to be between you and him? That is what he is after. All right? So I hope this will encourage you today. I also hope that it will save you from going down that path of deconstruction, and will put you back on the path of what it is that God is doing. Because when God gets finished dismantling all that synthetic stuff, let me tell you what's going to break forth is a devotion to him like none other. He will reveal himself to you, and the goodness of God will grip you so deep. You will become in a full loyalty and allegiance to him because you've seen him, you've heard him, and you will become a producing witness. You will be someone that says, I've seen him, I've heard him, and I can speak of him and about him because I've been with him. And so there is tremendous difference in the fruit that comes out of deconstruction and the dismantling of God. Because when God does that, it's going to cause the life that he always meant for you to have with him is what you will see beginning to be built. And then, you know what? They are building a certain kind of person for this hour of history. I hope it'll be you. And if I can be a part of that, then that would be such an honor. So I hope this encourages you to go deeper with him and to connect more with me. Hop over onto Facebook, into my free Facebook group called The Producer's Way. It's an aspect of Nancy McCready Ministries that we're getting ready to fully begin to put content and value there for you, and all kinds of opportunities there. There's not any content there right now, but you'll be the first to know when it begins to be released. So go on over and join my free Facebook group called The Producer's Way. And I hope to hear from you soon. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.